our What's Up in Minnesota. Our What's Up in Minnesota. This is from November 9th through yesterday. So this activity has happened in the past since our last meeting. So updates, December 14th up. So these cases are cases that I've showed you before, but when I showed them to you before, they weren't completed. Now they're complete. So I think we've got about 4 of them and then we've got the 12 new cases. There's a lot of stuff to go through. So and I want to make sure I'm going to shoot for breaking at 3 o'clock and then get Debbie on about 3:15. So got a little more than a half hour. So I'm going to try crank through some of this, but especially the updates because you've seen the cases before. So case number 139096-U took place back at 101. I bet that's supposed to be October 26th of 2024. So Steve here was working on this. Let's see what Steve cast. A straight glowing line down in Buffalo. And so if you're there, oh yeah, those look very familiar to me anyways. Let's see what Steve came up with on this. Wait, why is it not advanced? It should have advanced. Okay, unknown UAV. I was unable to contact the witness after several attempts. When I enlarged the video, the object looks either cylindrical or like an elongated rectangle. Case 139116 has an identical video and it was taken at the same time, only 25 miles away. Unfortunately, I was unable to contact the witness also, and I'm unable to determine what this is. Classification unknown UAV. And it kind of has a Starlink-ish look to me, but case number 139116-U took place again in October of this year in Elk River. Slow but steady moving rectangular object with bright glowing lights. This is the case that was just referenced, I believe. And yeah, so there's that picture that came with it. And unknown UAV, unable to contact witness. Identical video as seen in case 13906. When enlarged, it looks like a solid cylindrical or rectangular object. Classification unknown UAV. Thank you, Steve, for your work on those. Case number 139146, a FB1, a flyby, took place. Orbs in the sky. Bill McNeff was working on this one, and Bill's completed it now. So let's see what Bill came up with on this one. Completed unknown other. The witness is an avid sky watcher, and she claims that what she saw definitely were not satellites or planes. Satellites and Starlink can be eliminated since they travel west to east, and these traveled towards the west. Also, the research websites listed above show nothing in the sky moving in that direction at that time. Disposition unknown other. So Steve must have polished this one off. It's got Steve's initials on there. So thank you, Steve, for your work on that. Case number 139191 took place in Mankato back in 2023. So Jared was working on this, looking out the bedroom window and saw yeah. So let's see, take a look at how he completed this one. Unknown UAV. So here's just a segment of what Jared said. Witness seemed credible and down to earth. Witness was matter of fact of what happened. The witness described walking around their apartment for a little exercise and then looked out the window. It was at that moment they saw a small object hovering over the neighbor's trees. The object was too low to be an aircraft or any type of astronomical phenomenon. Witness opened the window, therefore there's no possibility of glint or reflection. Pedestrian did not react to the object, showing it was silent. I did look up drones to see if I could find anything that it could have been. There are a few that could have been misidentified even then, but they still don't match the description of the object given by the witness. Therefore, I'm closing this as an unknown UAV, Jared Nelson. So thank you, Jared, very much for that work. So now our new cases, the new cases we've got coming in. So like I said, we've got 12 new cases we're going to look at today. So so the submission date range was from November 9th through December 13th. And you know what? The date range of the sightings, I did not up the date range of the site because that's not correct. So that date range of sightings line is not correct. Because I know we've got one case this month from like 1983. So we got an older one. We got some that are a couple years old, but yeah, that date range of sightings, I forgot to update that line. So that's not correct. But the shapes updated. There's one circle, one oval, one other, one rectangle square, 3 spheres, 1 egg, 1 disc, 1 unknown, 1 tic tac, and 1 NA. So now our valet classifications. Now remember, our valet classification is how we categorize different sightings that come into us. So we've got 3 CE1s. So again, a CE is a close encounter. So 3 close encounters of the first kind. And MUFON defines a close encounter of the first kind as the class of object seen on the ground or at a short distance to the observer. So on the ground or short distance. We're going to have 3 MA1s. So MA1. So MA is a maneuver. 3 maneuvers of the first kind. And MUFON defines an MA1 as UFO observations that involve an object with a discontinuous trajectory, such as a drop, a maneuver, or a loop. So we got 3 of those. 3 FB1s. 3 FB, and FB, that's a flyby. So 3 flybys of the first kind. And MUFON defines a flyby of the first kind as a simple sighting of a UFO flying by in the sky, the category most frequently reported. And we've got 1 FB2, and FB2 is a flyby of the second kind. Flyby of the second kind is a flyby accompanied by physical evidence. And you know what? Now I'm looking at this, so that adds up to 10, so that's not 12. So I updated some of that line, but it looks like I didn't update that line complete. So I'm a little bit off of my valet classification count, but the data in the sightings are all correct. So let's jump right into them, because we've got about, yeah, just over a half hour before I want to hit the break time. So case number 139315 took place on August 1st of 1983. So I knew we had an older one than that. Time was 12 p.m. A circle was seen in valet classification of CE1 in Waukon, which I wasn't familiar with. That's in Mille Lacs County. The short description was 1980 sightings of a UFO and two fighter jets at 46 degrees, 5 minutes and 47 seconds. So here's this is just a segment of their detailed description. My father and brother reported seeing a UFO near our house in northern Minnesota in the early 80s. I do not have the exact date, but most likely between 82 and 84. There was a deafening noise which caused my dad to stop the truck and look at where it was coming from. He said a saucer-shaped metallic-looking UFO came up over the treetops from the northwest at a very low elevation and flew right over them over the farm field on their right, followed by two fighter jets. And they did supply more information than this. So one key thing, let's see. So this is completed. Now let's take a look at the information only. So Steve says, I spoke with a woman that filed the case. She was very sincere and told me that the story she told by her dad and brother, but she did not witness it. She wanted to know if anyone else reported anything similar at the time. I checked old cases on MUFON and New Fork, and New Fork is a national UFO reporting center, and couldn't find anything similar at the time. I told her about some cases that happened in that area that I could remember off the top of my head. That seemed to satisfy her curiosity. We also discussed that there may be some connection with some of these sightings to Camp Ripley, which is nearby. This case is information only. So a key factor that this is information only. It's not just that it's a very old case. It's not also that we don't have an exact date. It's because the witnesses themselves aren't reporting it. If we had a witness we were talking to, that could kind of take it out of the information only. Think of it in court. If you're in court and you have someone talking about someone else's story, it's called hearsay. So information only in this case is kind of like hearsay. So it may be very good information. It may be valid. It may be correct. But we have to track this one as information only because we're not talking to the actual witness on this one. So thank you, Steve, for your work on that. We appreciate it. Case number 139408-U took place on October 4th of 2024 at 10:30 p.m. A sphere was seen, close encounter of the first kind in Barnum, which is in Carleton County, orbs splitting in triangular formation. So this is just a segment. I saw what appeared to be an airplane out of the corner of my eye. I noticed the red and green blinking lights and a straight pattern of this object coming over the tree line, flying north to south. When I looked back that direction, maybe 5 seconds later, I realized the object was not moving at all, just in a standstill position, maybe 120 yards away or so. It then split into two orbs coming out of the initial one to form a triangle that was pulsating in rainbow colors. It rules my daily thoughts now. So this is just a segment, because if this is the one I'm thinking of, the person was very close to an airport, like a mile away from an airport. And so when they first saw the object, they thought, oh, that's an airplane because I'm right by the airport. But then it stopped over the trees and said, oh, it stopped. Well, that's not an airplane, so it must be a helicopter. And then it kind of lowered down into the trees. So that's kind of odd for a helicopter. Then came back up out of the trees and then split off. So that kind of rules out the helicopter too. So, but yeah, apparently this person is really, it's stuck in their head because, like he said, it rules his daily thoughts. So, but Steve has completed it. Let's see what Steve found out. So. He's called an unknown other. He researched the New Fork database, came across this report, and discovered that this event actually took place on September 20th, not October 4th. So the weather data is from September 20th. On that report, she stated that she was not drinking or using drugs. She was very sincere and claimed that she was traumatized by what she saw. Flight Radar 24 website indicated that there were no planes in the area at that time. So he's going to classify this as an unknown other. So thank you, Steve, for your work on that one. Case number 139532-U took place on November 15th of 2024 at 5:15 a.m. An egg was seen, FB2, a flyby of the second kind in Rochester. Egg-shaped bright light flying high speed, pulsating twice before blinking out. And this is the full detailed description. This is everything the witness put in. Egg-shaped bright light flying high speed, pulsating twice before blinking out, flew parallel to the road, and once it blinked out, my truck dashboard lit up with an alert stating that my collision aversion sensor had been blocked. Interesting. I hadn't heard that before. That's an interesting detail that came in there. So Steve has completed this one. Let's see what he had to say about it. Unknown other. I asked the witness if she thought she might have seen the landing lights of a plane heading into that airport, RST. And she said that she was a frequent flyer and that what she saw definitely were not landing lights. There was an American Airlines flight out of MSP that passed overhead at 5:18, but that was coming from the north, not the east, as she claimed. Furthermore, there were no flights at that time coming or going from RST. So he's classifying the case as an unknown other. So thank you for your work on that one, Steve. Okay, and we have photos and videos of stuff too, but they're not in the first view. So we're gonna get this might video of anomaly. We'll have a video on this one too. So took place on the 11th of November at 10:02 p.m. A disc was seen at MA1 in Wilmer, which is in Candy, Ojai County. All he said for his short description was video of anomaly. Then his detailed description, he said this was the segment said this was the first of a couple evenings of the anomaly being close enough to view the craft with the naked eye. During the couple months prior and since then, I've seen more anomalies in the sky than I can count. I've seen a light move into place, then remain in a similar orbit at path of stars, which is funny because if it there's this case and a couple other cases this month too, where they talk a little bit about this, but a lot of their detailed description is not about the event themselves. It's about the camera they're using and the setting they're using and the focus they're using. So even though it's supposed to detail the description of the event, people are putting in other stats and details about what they use to capture the information. So this was assigned to Preston Matke. And let's see. Oh, this one has, I think, 2 photos and 1 video. I think it's got a 1 video on this one. So here's our 1 photo. Here's our other photo. And okay, so I'm hoping you're seeing the video now.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So here's the video. Thank you. Thank you for the affirmation, Jerry, because I wasn't sure. So and I don't know if you caught that. He said he's going to ask him if it can come closer, but it hasn't yet because he mentions in his stuff that he's communicating with the ETs. So I'm not sure how he's doing that, but that's the communication that I believe he's referring to. So that's that. So that's what we've got for that case. And once that case is completed, we'll update you on that. Oh, I'm sorry, it's the Steve Hero case. They're always completed with Steve Hero. So, oh no, this is a new. So that we'll come back and visit that one in a future meeting once it's completed. So case number 139534-U took place on the 1st of October at 3:40 a.m. Oval was seen in New Ulm. Lights that appeared near New Ulm on October 1st around 3:40 and lasting around 4:15. So I believe this is the entire description too. I witnessed lights near New Ulm, Minnesota on the 1st of October, 24th, and a separate event witnessed on the 2nd of October, which also has a short video I will release. Similar occurrence when I witnessed again in the area of Mankato, Minnesota. So yeah, so there's 3 videos for this one. So there's 3 videos, and one of these cases, I think it might be this one. MUFON Global put a little comment in there for the field investigators, profanity in the video. So this, I think not all of them, but I think one of them has a little brief profanity. So if you take exception to that, this is your warning that there could be some profanity coming up. So in just a second, I'll get you your profanity as soon as I can get you 139.
What the fuck, bro?
You see that?
It's just like boop.
No, I have it on camera still.
Yeah, I know. It's just like boop.
It's dropping across the sky. And now there's 2. Now look how bright it is. Oh my god. Yeah, I got it, bro. It's all in camera. It just disappeared.
Yeah, there's your F-bomb for all the F-bomb fans out there. There's your F-bomb for the day. All right, let's see if I go to this one. Are you seeing this, Jared, or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Dude, there's more. Yeah, I know. There's 3 of them. You got it? I got 2 of them. Are you kidding? Yeah. There's one above it. Rotate. Let me show you. They're gonna go away, but they're gonna pop back up, bro. So I'm not gonna remove them.
Bonus F-bomb.
Yeah. That one keeps popping up really bright, bro, and then going away. Imagine if we were
And drug references. So how about that? So yeah, and drug references. Oh yeah, all this good stuff. So this is our third. We got one more for this one. What's it right here?
There it is.
Yep, playing.
You were tripping, I didn't see it, so I said, sleep deprived.
Hey,
But no, I got two of them on camera, very nice. I don't know what this is, but I've never seen anything like this. We're gonna submit this to MUFON when we get back.
One of them's got the right idea, anyways.
I don't know distance right now. You can just see it in the camera just fading away, but
Okay, I'll stop that. I'm gonna go back here and I'm gonna. So those are the videos that we've got for that case. And let's see what we got for our next case. The next case is number, this was completed. 139534, unknown UAV. So the witness admitted that these videos were filmed over nearly half-hour period. In other words, these are videos of different objects filmed at different times. The light appears to move to the right, so the witnesses were facing towards the north or northeast. That would mean the lights are traveling from west towards the east, which is the same direction as satellites travel. There were two bright satellites that appeared overhead at 340 and another one around 345. There was also a United and Delta flight that came in from the northwest and headed towards the southeast at approximately 350 and 355. The unusually bright lights that fades away is too bright to be satellite or a plane, so we may be looking at satellites, commercial aircraft, or one or two unknowns. Classification is therefore unknown UAV. So thank you, Steve Hero, for your fantastic investigation on that. So, and again, apologize for the F-bombs. We have no control over that. So case number 139561-U took place on December 5th, 2024 at 7:01 a.m. A square rectangle was seen in Moorhead, MA1, maneuver of the first kind. I was fishing in the night with my friend when I looked up and saw blue UFO light of some sort. It kind of swam through the sky, then disappeared. So their detailed description was I was fishing with my friend. We decided to walk because it was getting dark. We walked the trail and stopped for a short break. And we were both looking up in the sky and saw whatever it was. It was thought the sky was blue, but you could see other colors. I tried to record it with my phone, but I couldn't pick it up. It was pretty far. So Anna is working on that one. It's in progress. When this one completes, we will show you the results of that one. Case number 139816-U took place on December 3rd, 2024 at 8 p.m. Shape was unknown. Classification MA1, a maneuver of the first kind in Minneapolis. So they said, I saw it. I first saw it as a green stationary light in the eastern sky. First thought it might be a drone. Then it took off very fast toward the west. Here, just a segment of what their detailed description was. I was lying in bed and had a good view from my window when I first saw a green stationary light in the eastern sky, but between the clock tower and what I think is the federal building. At first, I thought it might be a drone. I kept watching it for a few minutes, and then I took off towards the west very fast. Yeah, and her daughter came in, and her daughter saw it. Yeah, so there's a lot more detail in her detailed description. But Steve's worked on that one, and he's completed it. So let's see what Steve had to say. Completed. So it's completed. The official disposition in CMS, he didn't enter that yet. So I need to follow up with him, or we need to make sure that Steve actually puts the official disposition into CMS, because it wasn't populated when I looked at it, but his findings were the object showed all the characteristics of a drone in flight. Also, she finally admitted that it moved and acted like a drone, but she wanted to report it because it seemed different than the other drones that she had seen. She also admitted that it finally landed on a building a few blocks away. So disposition IFO. So IFO is an identified flying object. So he believes we've identified it as a drone. So it's not a UFO, it's an IFO. So thank you, Steve, for your work on that. Case number 139872-U took place on November 30th, 2024 at 5:31 p.m. A sphere was seen, FB1, so flyby of the first kind in Hinckley. Description, all they said was unknown light, but in the detailed description was much longer. They said, I observed an unusual bright pulsating flickering light in the sky. During observation, there's no sound. Sun was setting, which is why this is unusually standing out in the sky and very close, say 15 to 45 kilometers away. After taking the image, the object had disappeared. So Jamie's one of our newer field investigators, and I hear she's doing just a fantastic job. I think we got some pics on this one, but so it's not closed yet. When it closes, we'll revisit this one and tell you what Jamie found, but let's see. Yeah, so here's one. This might be the only picture that we've got on this one, so. But definitely an interesting picture. And if I recall some of the more detailed descriptions, this again, they cropped and zoomed. So of course, when someone crops and zooms the picture, they've altered it. So our photo analysts can't look at it or won't look at it because it's been altered. But if they can get the original picture unaltered, they can use that. So I think it's just this one shot for this case. Or is it? Yeah, so case number 139937-U took place on October 10th of 2024. At 7 p.m., a Tic Tac was seen, CE1, so close encounter of the first kind in Pipestone. Short description, Tic Tac UFO silent with rapid movement. On my way home from work, I saw the Tic Tac UFO moving side to side, like zigzagging with rapid movement. It would get close enough to take about 30 feet long, maybe bigger, and then it would move sideways on a horizontal plane to look very small from rapidly moving far away. Then it tilted sideways while staying still. It has a white squiggle come out of its back end, and then it went back to the Tic Tac. It took off right at sunset at absolutely incredible speed. So this has been assigned to Steve Hero, and if you've seen the cases that Steve Hero's been doing today, they get done fast, so they'll be done pretty quick. And actually, speaking of getting done pretty quick, yeah, they get done pretty quick with Steve. So I might actually take a break before 3. We'll see how it gets. So yes, and this one I don't see the object in this one at all. But the next two, there's 2 more. The next 2 you'll definitely see what they're referring to. But I just don't see it in even I know what I'm looking for because I've seen the other ones. I just don't see it here. But in the next one, it's obvious there what we're looking at. Actually, let's go back, and I don't see it unless I don't know if you zoom into those spots. But so here you say it here, and I think it's just either 3 or 5 slides. Might be 5 slides in this one. I have to check. Well, we'll find out. And this one, oh, this has got 5 slides on it. So yeah. And of course, they zoomed and cropped that one. So that's the picture. So Steve is working on this one. When Steve has it done, we'll revisit this one and give you the updates on that probably next month. But thank you for your work on that, Steve. Case number 139974-U took place on September 29th of 2020. So back a few years at 7:40 p.m. A sphere was seen. Classification was MA1, so maneuver of the first kind down in Crow Wing. The short description was red-orange balls of light moving horizontally, unlike military flares. So the detailed description, here's just a segment of it. I vaguely noticed a red-orange light emerge from above the Best Buy across the street to the west, highway to the west. It headed in east-southeast direction. After it was gone, I noticed a second identical light seemingly following an identical path as the first. This is another one where they had lots of detail on the camera and how they were sitting and where they were laying and things like that weren't really germane to the actual event as much as what they were doing. So a lot of that's not included here. But this has been assigned to Peter Collins, and once Peter completes this one, we will show you the results. And I don't know if we've got any, we've got 2 videos on this one. We've got 2 videos on this one. So let's get on those videos, 9741 and 9742. All right, so here it's pretty obvious what they're focused on. Yeah, toward the trees and away from the trees, and toward the trees and away from the trees. It's kind of interesting. Let's do this. And notice those lights on the left there, those double lights there for the sports field or whatever. Notice there's 2 sets of them. Those blinkings that just flew by were reflections from those. So those were not the event, but this is the event. Yeah, those double lights, those are the sports field lights that we saw down at the bottom. And seeing that pulsating can be really deceiving because it looks like the light is pulsating, but if I were to put my money on it, my bet is it's a dark background, it's a dark area. That's the camera's trying to focus on it. So it appears to be pulsating, but that's the camera making adjustments. That's my guess, my non-professional photo analyst guess, but that's what it appears to be to me. So okay, so that's the 2 videos on that one. So we'll revisit that one once it's completed. We'll show you what the results on that were. And case number 139975-U took place on October 14th, 2022. So a little bit older. Shape was an other. Classification was a CE1, so close encounter of the first kind in Brainerd. This is their short description: metallic octagonal object with white lights under each corner. This is just a segment of what they described. I looked up, and to my total surprise, it was an octagonal shape about the size of a large helicopter if it was smashed flat. I saw metallic underbelly with a white light on every corner. No wings, rotors, propellers, or other source of propulsion is visible. Interesting, it's octagonal. A lot of times when we have the underbelly and the white lights at each corner, generally I hear that as a triangle, but here we've got octagonal with that. So it's been assigned to Jared, and we'll revisit this one once Jared completes it. All right, I think this is the last one. Case number 140025-U took place December 13th of this year at 5:40 p.m. Shape was not applicable. FB1, a flyby, took place in Tamarack, which is in Aitkin County. A bright object, somewhat low, changing shapes, unbelievable. So here's a segment of what they wrote. They wrote, I deliberately looked at the object. I realized it was different and maybe within a you-do there mile or so. I'm not sure what they meant there. Of ground level at the most. I observed this object to be somewhat stationary initially for maybe 20 minutes. Little movement to gradually increasing altitude slightly and moving just a little bit faster to the southwest, but I still had this object in view for well in excess of an hour. So that's a very interesting. If they had it in view for an hour, that's something going on because it's obviously not going anywhere anytime fast. So it's been assigned to me. Scary, scary, assigned to me. And I think there might be two pictures of this. So here's one picture of this. I don't think there's three. I think it's just two pics. Yeah. Oh, there is three pics on that one. So interesting what that is. We'll have that once this case is closed, we'll revisit that one and give you the results on that one too. So that's what's up in Minnesota, and it is break time.